Hello and welcome to the Circle at Kismet. Today we're going to be doing a reading to find out about your soulmate, twin flame or next serious relationship. We're going to be using a selection of engagement rings to find out more about what is ahead and potentially that moment when you're looking to make a commitment in your relationship and move your connection onto the next phase. The readings include a letter from this suitor as well as details of where you may meet or where the proposal may take place. If you have not partaken in a pick-a-pile reading before, pause the video, take some deep breaths and centre yourself. And when you're ready, open your eyes and your heart will be drawn to the right option. This reading is not for everyone. For collective readings, take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. The reading is timeless, so trust you will find this at the right time for you. So let's take a closer look at the options. Option number 1 is the emerald and diamond ring. Option number 2 is the diamond set ring. Option number 3 is the amethyst and diamond ring. Option number 4 is the turquoise and diamond ring. Option number 5 is the Tanzanite and sky blue topaz ring. Option number 6 is the ruby and diamond ring. Timestamps are down below in the description box, as are the ways to support the channel. Thank you to all those who like, share, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel reach its optimum audience. Also, thank you to those using the links to help fund the future readings. Everything helps and I'm grateful for your support. Before we head on over to the readings, in case you missed my announcement, I've published a novel and you are the first people I wanted to share it with. My novel's about a psychic development circle based in a shop called Kismet. The story follows participants, what drew them to the group and how their lives intertwine. It merges love, loss, laughter, tears, with predictions, crystals, tarot, plus the odd spell and a sprinkling of romance. A huge thank you to those who have already bought the book and for your support that you've shown. Details of where to buy it from are below in the description box. And without further ado, let's head on to your readings. So if you've picked the emerald and diamond ring, here is your letter. And it reads, "To my soulmate, every day with you so far has been simply magical. I couldn't have wished for someone as beautiful and amazing as you to grace my life. You have brought your kindness, thoughtfulness and support to so many, and you always put others first, myself included. I am looking forward to showing you how truly wonderful you are and what you mean to me by asking you to be mine forever. I love you to the moon and back." And just a little bit about the meanings of the gemstones. Diamonds feature in a lot of these rings, so I'm going to read it for each of the sections if you're reading multiple readings. For diamonds, the stone means it's a stone of purity. Diamonds are said to promote an essence of invincibility, clarity, spiritual evolution, and it is believed to cleanse the aura. In relationships, they represent eternal love, strength, and are said to represent an unbreakable bond. If you move on to the emerald, emeralds are a stone of rebirth and they bring prosperity, emotional healing and strength. In relationships, it denotes serenity, harmony and unconditional love. And here are your cards. So the first cards we're going to start with are the ones that represent you. And you have the cards Pearl, she who rises up, empower, uplift, elevate. And you also have the card Desiree, she who yearns, yearn, longing, pine for. The two sides of your personality are outlined in these two cards. The first is Pearl, She is a champion for those who need help and support. She shares her story to enlighten and give hope to those who are lost. The strong facade she has created has been through hard experiences and lessons learned, and they were effectively endured alone. She stands with those less fortunate and offers encouragement from the perspective of a warrior or a survivor. The other card, Desiree, is Hidden Realms. She knows she is the main character of her life and longs to write the script she wants to live, but life gets in the way and her ideals escape her to a regimented regime. She loves the idea of a classic fairy tale, albeit with a twist, exciting adventures followed by cosy nights, and of course a happily ever after. The next card represents the partner. So we have number 14, the Duke of Shadows. The Duke of Shadows denotes a person who is well established and respected by all. They have gained their status by hard work and built their lives from almost nothing. They are fiercely protective of all they have and hold those lucky enough to be in their inner circle dear. They can be criticised for being too focused on their careers, but this has been their safe haven when all else was lost. They may also be sternly dedicated to their hobbies and interests. They are competitive in almost all they do. They can be labelled as a workaholic or even boring as they thrive in mundane situations, but their sheer steely determination has got them this far, and those who make these assumptions do not know the hidden side of them that so few rarely get to see and interact with. The next two cards that you have are What Brings You Together, and you have Face Your Fears, Farewell to Fear Phantoms, and you also have Dawn of Love, Love is Rising on the Horizon of Your Life. Both of these cards show what appears to be tunnels. You are both emerging from a dark era of life. Stagnancy seems to have carried you to this point, and the humdrum of life has quashed any dreams or desires with sheer lack of energy. This is a time to evolve using small shifts. Do little things that make you happy, that awaken your very soul. The cards depict the release of this era, and one shows a bright star, the other a beautiful, bountiful garden in bloom. The seeds you plant today will grow and bloom in the future. When things begin to flourish is when this connection will be revealed and will start to come to life. The next batch of cards are how things will progress, and you have the Two of Emotions, the Wheel, the Five of Voices, and the Eight of Materials. The cards show a roller coaster of emotions in this connection. There may be difficulty breaking through. One of you is quite closed off, and romantic associations feel blocked or stifled. One of you may feel they are making progress one day for it to change completely the next. You are both learning to love again, and when a long-standing void is trying to be filled, it is natural to resist and to question if you're ready for this. Can you really trust? Do you have the mindset to share someone's life and them to share yours? The time for healing has now passed. Now you are both being tested with a love that can weather the storm, will offer abundance, spiritual connection and passion, but the universe wants to be wholeheartedly sure that this is what you want, and more importantly that you can commit to it before allowing it to be fully delivered. The next cards that you have are any obstacles you may face, and you have Self-Indulgence, the Golden Mirror, and Engagement Ring. One partner in this connection is more committed than the other at the outset of this relationship. It may be a situation of all take and no give. This is because this person is yet to receive the type of love the other is offering. Their past connections may have been driven by status, financial support, or materialistic traits. This relationship will allow this individual to grow like no other past phase. They will evolve, and the feelings that one of you shares will be mirrored in time. Be aware that whilst this connection is very strong, it should evolve naturally to a committed relationship. Hinting or putting pressure to seal the love will actually work in reverse and may hamper a long-lasting commitment. So for the next section, I wanted to try and channel some ideas on where you may meet each other or where this proposal will take place. So some of the ideas that came to me are on a deserted beach, on a bridge over a river, where birds circle in harmony or are bred or displayed, where trophies are won, presented or are stored, in an old style greenhouse where rare plants are tended or cultivated, in an area where a famous author lived or there's a book based on the area, in a lift or elevator or moving around a tall building, near a cliff with a dramatic drop, where a butterfly wants to stay with you and flutters around you for some time. For one of you, you will see a woman wearing jet, as in the gemstone. One of you will see a white picket fence with an array of beautiful blooms. And for one of you, there's going to be a hot air balloon, either an actual trip yourself, or you will actually see the hot air balloon up in the sky in motion. The next card is how you can improve the relationship, and you have number 10, easy does it. One step at a time, nurture and nudge slowly but surely. If you are struggling to find time together or to get a partner away from their desk or schedule, try to fit small caring actions into their day. Rather than a date, how about a coffee at lunchtime? Small compliments or even tokens to confirm that you are not only there for them, but that you want to fit into their lifestyle. Almost like a jigsaw piece. The next two cards are what you're going to learn from this relationship. And you have Vision and Foresight, which says look beyond what's in front of you and dare to pursue bigger goals. Not only see the immediate opportunities, but also have the courage to envisage the future. Don't let current challenges limit your flight. Rise above and find broader horizon. And the other card is Passion and Energy. It's time to ignite the passion within you. Let this flame light your enthusiasm for life and propel you towards exciting goals. Let go of your worries and devote yourself to what you truly love. So in summary, you're going to learn quite a lot from this person. They have a very different lifestyle from yours, and you'll immediately see what both you and they lack in comparison. It's a case of resetting goals and creating a plan to achieve them. It's also about knowing your worth and your capabilities far outweigh the limiting beliefs that you think you can achieve. Next we have some flower cards. So we have the Four of Spades, which is pink carnation. And we have the Three of Spades, which is apple blossom. So the apple blossom card in the language of flowers means beauty and goodness. In the language of flowers, it also means renewal, peace, new beginnings, and an abundant time ahead. The pink carnation is the card of encouragement. And in the language of flowers, it's nurturing, fondness, giving thanks, appreciation, and a deep fascination in love. Next, we've got some messages. We've got a love message, which reads, it's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. And then we have two of these love cards, which the first one says apology. Never underestimate the power of a heartfelt apology. And the other one, quite fittingly, is the card of proposal, an offer or proposal in the near future that comes as a surprise. So the last card for the reading is the timing card, and you have in September. September is the month highlighted in this reading. this is the time you are likely to get onto the path that will see you either meeting this individual, your relationship moving on, or when the larger plan begins to unfold. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to comment below which option you picked, because it's always interesting to know which ones people are drawn to. Anyway, I'll see you in the next reading. If you picked option number 2, here's your envelope. And your letter reads, "To my beloved, ever since I was young, I felt the type of long and lasting love that I wanted only belonged in fairy tales, in lands far away where princes lived in kingdoms, and the way to win the heart of a fair maiden meant battling a dragon or slaying the enemy. Then I met you. Your beauty is mesmeric, and your heart is pure. I pinch myself every day as I cannot believe I am lucky enough to be yours. I long to take our relationship to a more committed level. I may not be in my suit of armour or on my white steed for the proposal, but I hope you will agree to be mine so we can begin our happily ever after together. Forever yours." Just going to give you some information on the gemstones. Obviously in this one it is just the diamond that features. So diamonds are a stone of purity. They're said to promote an essence of invincibility, clarity, spiritual evolution, and are believed to cleanse the aura. In relationships, they represent eternal love, strength, and an unbreakable bond. If you picked option 2, the diamond band, these are your cards. And the first 2 represent one of the partners. So we have the card She Who Becomes, and that's Eterna, Metamorphosis, Transcend, Journey. And the other card is She Who Regrets, Éclat, Battle, Victory and Bitterness. You have the busiest mind. It races sometimes faster than you can keep track of. You are often one or more steps ahead in your mind than where you are physically. You enjoy the excitement of planning and creating a schedule. You also may be the creator of other kinds, generating interest and praise for your skills that you share. People look up to you when you offer to share parts of yourself. Mostly you would rather be behind the scenes and doing what you feel you're best at. There's an element of regret deep in your soul. This may be hidden and not processed as you keep so busy. The need to release any feelings of bitterness or issues from the past is now coming to the fore. The next card represents the other person, and it's card number 4, Tiger Angel. The person represented by the Tiger Angel is someone who may be judged as their bark being more frightening than their bite. They show a strong, authoritarian persona to the world. They take things that mean a lot quite seriously. They are hugely creative and can generate quite a following when people hear about them. They often put everything they have into a project and look to be handsomely rewarded for their investment of time. They can be prone to sulk or go inwards if something fails. They have to lick their wounds in private and rally themselves to rearrange with new vitality and vigour for another phase. They don't take criticism well unless it is from someone they respect. They love to meet new people and to share their time hearing about different lifestyles and experiences. They can be a social butterfly in public situations, but keep their private life completely separate and hidden away. The next 2 cards are how you'll come together, and you have Deal with the unexpected, treat the unforeseen as a divine offering, and you also have Self-creation, be the author of your own life. There's a huge bubble of energy when you come together. It feels like it's a turning point for one of you and a monumentally positive time for the other. One of you is quite spiritually aligned, whilst the other is a master of self-creation. So you are quite different in some respects, but you would like to adopt factors of each other's personalities, which will benefit you both in the long run. You will almost be able to feel this meeting is going to happen because the synchronicities you see will increase and your intuition will be heightened. And then the next group of cards are how things will progress. And you have the Muse of Voices, the Ace of Materials, the Four of Voices, and Temperance. A divide may appear as the relationship gets underway. A difference of opinion, either about travel, work, or some form of change of image, may upset the apple cart. You need to work as a team if this is to work, and to take on board your partner's opinions. You may not agree with everything, but to hear another person's pros and cons will make them feel that they are participating, even if you do not agree with what they're suggesting. One of you may be asked to join the other's business or job. Not long term, but the help will be appreciated and will allow your bond to grow deeper over the course of this time. The next group of cards are any obstacles that you're going to face. You have the Healing Heart, Passion, and Date. Do not compare this relationship to ones from the past, as it is completely unique and has its own merits. Ensure even at busy times that you keep date nights in place to keep the passion and connection alive. There will be times when you are separated through no fault of your own, and it is in these times it will be hardest to keep on track and to remain as close as you are. It takes work from both sides, but it is possible to not only keep the spark alive, but for it to thrive fiercer than ever. So for the next section, I just wanted to channel some ideas of places where you're going to meet this person or where this proposal will take place. So some of the things I got was in an area full of books where they're everywhere the eye can see, where classic literary works are performed for an audience, in a waiting room, under an ornate chandelier, when it is freezing and the outside world is treacherous, where people dress as angels or they feature in pictures or architecture, on or near a huge ship or on a cruise, in a car park when you are having either a problem with your space, your change, or your car. For one of you, a seesaw will feature. For another, it will be a maze or some kind of escape room. And for another one of you, there will be a huge arrow nearby. The next card is how you can improve your relationship. And you have card 28, Fail Abundantly. The relationship can improve by sharing yourself in its rawest context. Failures, embarrassment, miscommunication, things that go wrong, as well as all the positives, are part of you. When you can be open about anything, then you know your relationship has reached a new and sturdy footing. The next couple of cards are what you're going to learn from this relationship. You first of all have confusion and clarity. Fog often brings confusion, but it also provides you with an opportunity for reflection. Today you may feel unclear, but this is the moment to pause and reassess. Stay calm and clarity will gradually emerge from the mist. And this card is Challenge and Achievement. Mountain encourages you to embrace challenges and to climb to new heights. Don't shy away from the challenge, show your determination. Take each step forward towards the summit and you will achieve great success. This relationship will teach you, or shall I say remind you, of the cycles of life. If you challenge yourself, you will learn new skills and achievements. If you seek answers and act to gain clarity, it will come. Staying in your comfort zone is not an option now. You are being guided to find your place and purpose in the world and to follow it. Next we've got a flower message, and you have the Five of Spades, which is a red carnation. In the language of flowers, the red carnation signifies affection, admiration, love and fascination, and that's a beautiful, strong message for romance. And then next we've got some messages. We have this card which reads, Friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship and your love life will dramatically improve. And then we have these two messages. We have right path, love is beautiful journey and you're on the right path. And then you have the card of baggage. Emotional baggage can weigh down relationships. Unpack it. And then finally, we have a timing card to give you an idea of when this is going to happen or start to happen. And you have the card Up in the Air. The timing card on this reading doesn't actually clarify time period. Up in the Air denotes to me that it's something that is either currently undecided, as one or other of you or neither of you are in the right place at present, or the universe is fine-tuning the details and it is yet to be completed. I also had a feeling that for some of you, you may meet or get your proposal literally up in the air. It could be a balloon flight, planes, skydives, skyscrapers, etc. Any of those could be significant, or they might be a tree surgeon, they might be somebody that works up in the air, maybe a crane driver. Yeah, so look out for things like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing or subscribe if you don't already. Also, pop in the comments box which option you picked, because it's always interesting to find out which ones people go for. Outside that, I'll see you in the next reading. If you picked option 3, the amethyst and diamond ring, here is your envelope. And your letter reads, My love, I often visualise our time together as a movie. From the first moments of our meeting, our first tentative date, the places we have visited and experiences shared. The next milestone will be the proposal, and I want it to be monumental, something you and I will remember and cherish forever. I have been finalising details, putting plans into motion, and trying to hide my growing excitement. I hope you will enjoy not only this moment, but will share my enthusiasm for this new phase for us, stepping into the rest of our lives together and becoming one. Lots of love. And then I'm going to give you some details on what the gemstones mean. If you're watching several of these options, diamonds obviously repeat themselves because they're in most of the rings. But the meaning of diamond, it's a stone of purity. Diamonds are said to promote an essence of invincibility, clarity, spiritual evolution, and are believed to cleanse the aura. In relationships, they represent eternal love, strength, and an unbreakable bond. And you've also got the stone of amethyst there, which is the stone of spirituality. It aids healing, sleep, promotes clarity and calm. In relationships, it brings emotional balance, commitment, and deepens the spiritual connection. If you picked option 3, the amethyst and diamond ring, here are your cards. So the first two cards represent one of the partners, potentially you, but obviously it could be roles reversed. And you have She Who Radiates, Geneva, Knowing, Ambition and Confidence. And then we have She Who Enfolds, Etra, Suave, Embrace, Self-Care. There are two clear sides to your personality. The first is the persona you choose to share with the world, the way you stand up for what you believe, the fact you offer help and support to those in need of your guidance and to hear about your life experiences, and the way you pick up from what others leave. You are reliable and people trust you, which is why they gravitate to you for assistance. The other side of your personality is the side that you keep fiercely private. You know who you are and have dedicated a lot of time to your shadow self, inner healing, and generally becoming the person you are today. You have faced times that have felt painfully lonely, where you have been left to process negative emotions from others, and relationships that have failed through no fault of your own. Now is the time to balance these two personas and to open up to a new and exciting experience that's coming your way. The next card is the card that represents the other person, and it's gender free, but it's the card of Alice, which is number 12. The card of Alice donates a person who feels they are embarking on a completely new phase. They are ready to seek a new path and have become tired of what used to fulfill their soul. This person may be a thrill seeker or a fantasist, but this is their escapism, and they do have more sensible, stalwart side to counteract the spontaneous side of their personality. They have been restricted in their past with their ideas or dreams suppressed. They are ready to spread their wings and take flight to see where the world takes them. Those represented by this card are well liked and known by many, however they tend to work best alone, even though they come across as a team player. This person may have a childlike nature or be young at heart. They are looking forward to their next adventure and who or what they will encounter. The next two cards are When You Come Together, and you have Finding the Path, you are the driver and the navigator, and you have the card of Return to Joy, we are here to experience joy. You both seem to be approaching this from the same form of direction. You are both ending a phase and moving on from a situation, and both of you are looking for something new. There is a void you are looking to fill. The current danger is that waiting for life to deliver you opportunities just doesn't happen. You have to reach out, move out of your comfort zone, and step into your new self. Your paths may not instantly be connected, and you may cross paths before a relationship starts. You may be mentioned to each other, or friends may bring you closer to meeting. If you have already met, you will see how your lives now run in a similar parallel to one another, and whilst there may be ups and downs, things are fairly stable. The next batch of cards are how things will progress, and you have the Queen of Emotions, the Muse of Emotions, the Queen of Materials, and the Awakening. There are two very strong characters connected to your relationship. These could be your or their ex-partners or family members or even friends of either of you. There seems to be conflicting energies or confusion caused by those who are not directly involved in your relationship but who feel they have a right to put input into the equation. There's an element of you both spending time pacifying these people, and this can put a strain on your relationship. You need to be firm and to take the reins of your future, not letting gossip, coercive behaviour or demands damage your connection. There is a chance that this relationship will have its own struggles and challenges. It may be a distance between you, living far away, different cultural challenges, or even an age gap. Conflict comes from others, but not within, so if you are happy, combine your strength and defeat those who do not believe in you and your relationship. The next batch of cards are obstacles, and you have Phoenix, Addiction, and Soulmates. The Phoenix card denotes the need to rebuild or reconnect when things may fall apart, to not go to sleep on an argument, and to maybe agree to disagree on things that you can't actually agree on. Do not judge your current relationship by past issues and experiences. The Addiction card is about becoming reliant on things because you need to really communicate, relapsing into past patterns and how you or they dealt with things previously that were out of their control. The Soulmate card puts forward questions. Are you really soulmates? And you may compare yourself to other connections in other people's relationships or your past connections with other people. Are they better in comparison to now? Well, this relationship really is unique and it can't really be compared to anything else. So for the next part of the reading, I wanted to try and channel some ideas on where you may meet or where your proposal will come. And I got the following: in or near a cave or in nature, gardens, mountains, plants or a river, at a stunning sunrise, sunset or sky display, where ladies wear flowers in their hair, deep sea diving, shopping, posting or going around your usual routine, but today it feels different. near a mirror or where reflections join, in an amusement park where puzzles are solved, on a beach, in a field of some form of grain or other plants, or potentially in a forest where there are impressive arches or Gothic architecture, including maybe gargoyles, where you can change currency for holidays, where sailboats gather, on some form or method of transport. For one of you, there will be a dramatic drum solo. For another, you will be near a rainbow of colours, like colour charts or swatches of fabric, etc. And for another of you, you will be near a checkered pattern or a large chessboard. The next card is what you can do to improve the relationship, and you have number 6, receive all things. This card says to take the rough with the smooth and to be open to all opportunities. Do not close off your mind without full thought and inner debate. There is so much to experience and that you will benefit from if only you would let yourself. The next 2 cards are what you'll learn from the relationship, and we have gratitude and harvest, which says it's time to harvest, reminding you to give thanks and reflect. Pause to express gratitude for your experience and the abundance you have gained. Prepare yourself for new opportunities as you enter a phase of reaping your rewards. And then the other card is rooted and vitality. Trees embody the process of growth through deep roots and steady expansion. Today, focus on laying the foundations for your personal growth. Strengthen your roots, nurture your strengths, and allow yourself to grow into your full potential. These are quite self-explanatory cards. Both are natural and show the ebb and flow of life. Harvesting and rooting are both areas of growth and show the ever-changing cycles. Learn to enjoy the now, the season that you are currently in. Whilst hopes and dreams are good, it is important to have gratitude for the current time and the day-to-day positives that we experience and often take for granted. Whilst you have similar personality traits, there are areas that you are very different. You will need to navigate some conflicting views to yours, but this will expand your knowledge and understanding, and they will have to face similar things from you in return. Next we have a flower card, and we have, it's the King of Clubs, and it's the card of current. So in the language of flowers, currents are connected to deep affection and enduring love. The only fear is to assume that you know something about your partner when in fact the information may be unclear or wrong and lead to a situation that could be avoided. And then next we've got some messages. We've got this one, which reads, embrace, through each other you find the missing pieces. And then we have 2 more cards. We have the card of abundance, open your heart to receive the abundance love the universe has to offer. And then this card of hideaway, make time to be with your person, create your own special hideaway. So they are lovely messages to get. The last card we have is a timing card, and for you the timing card says within 6 months. So as this is a timeless reading, the timing is 6 months, and that's generally to the start of when the phase begins, when you're either going to get onto the path to meet this person, or if you've already met, that may be the time when things begin to change. As the symbol is a jellyfish, it may make you feel that it might be a shock when you meet, or it could be a shock when the proposal happens. Equally, as the jellyfish is translucent, you may feel in hindsight that it was actually quite obvious that this was going to happen. The jellyfish moves calmly and smoothly in the water, and this may reflect your partner's persona at the time. So, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, drop a note in the comments of which ring you picked. It's always interesting to know which ones people go for. And outside that, I'll see you in the next reading. If you picked option number 4, the turquoise and diamond ring, here's your envelope. And your letter reads, Dearest you, I have been in awe of how your arrival into my life has changed everything. I was once so lonely, but now I feel fulfilled, like my purpose has been renewed, and I face each day with zest for life once more. We have so many special places that are dear to us, and I hope we will visit one of the favourites for this special moment. I hope it will not disappoint, and that sealing our commitment to one another brings us closer than ever and makes our eternal bond stronger than ever. Yours forever. Also wanted to just give you some details on the gemstones that feature in the rings. Diamonds come up in several of them, so I'm going to repeat myself if you're watching several of these options. But diamonds denote purity, it's the stone of purity. Diamonds are said to promote an essence of invincibility, clarity, spiritual evolution, and they're believed to cleanse the aura. In relationships, they represent eternal love, strength, and an unbreakable bond. And then the stone of turquoise is the stone of wisdom and knowledge. It also offers healing, protection, and tranquility. It promotes peace, understanding, and is said to strengthen bonds in relationships. If you picked option number 4, the turquoise and diamond ring, here are your cards. So the first 2 cards represent either yourself or the partner. And the first is She Who Resists, Audace, Fearless, Justified, Resistant. And She Who Nurtures, Colette, Empathy, Gentleness, Insight. The combination of these 2 cards shows a resilience built up from necessity. You may have experienced things in the past that have led you to build a sturdy wall around your heart and to tuck away your emotions from everyone outside your inner circle. Opening up to trust new people can be difficult, as not everyone is as they seem. Past painful interactions, deceptions, and hollow promises have left you scarred when those who pose like this were revealed for who they truly are. You are not to blame for the games others play, but you resolve the feelings you experienced by pushing those you do not know that well away. Your kind heart should not be suppressed, and you are aware of how this needs to change. Balance is the key to create a persona that allows love but equally screens questionable individuals. The next card reflects the personality of the partner, and this is number 23, Divine Disguise. The person represented by the card Divine Disguise is someone who is quite similar to you. However, as opposed to suppressing parts of themselves, they are actually overcompensating. They will emphasise a personality trait to suit those they are around. They cleverly turn situations they feel negative into positive with their quick wit and thinking. They have a great sense of humour and are first to be able to laugh at themselves. They sometimes need to step away from things they feel they have become embroiled in. When things get particularly intense, they sometimes lose sight of the option to release, or could be accused of just not completing projects or even being fully present. Their energy masks their inner core, and very few people really get to know much about them beyond the outer facade. They have depths of emotion that only the right person can tap into. Because this person is portrayed as in disguise, they could actually be someone you already know, but not fully on a deeper level. The next 2 cards are how you will come together, and you have Concealed Power, Give Birth to the Wonder of Revelation, and Simple Pleasures, Look for Beauty that is all around you. You both have inherent talents that you are yet to explore fully. Maybe there is something you are drawn to that gets left in favour of your day-to-day chores, or struggling to keep up with what you have already dedicated your time to. This is the time to dip your toe into the water, whatever your dream or desire is. You may not feel ready to fully immerse yourself completely into this plan, but to begin the process is all you are being asked. It's at this stage where you will begin to see synchronicities and where things will begin to take a turn for the better. Things will start to fit into place. Doors that seem firmly shut will begin to feel more achievable to open. Things that were out of reach are now tantalisingly closer than you ever imagined. The next group of cards are how things are going to progress. So we have the Two of Inspirations, the Star, Ace of Voices, and the Knight of Materials. The relationship arrives in a flurry when it does appear and can be quite chaotic, especially to those who love a routine or a schedule. Things may feel spontaneous with swift movement and a need to juggle life to accommodate such a turn of events. Feelings are likely to remain in the honeymoon period, with one of you wondering if this can be real, as it is like no other connection you have experienced previously. Beware of the perils that come with a relationship moving so fast. Swift proposals, the arrival of children, moving in together are all likely, and whilst it is wonderful to be swept up and carried off on a romantic whim, the relationship does need to be explored fully before either of you can commit to a long-term loving connection. One of you in this partnership needs to grow spiritually, as the other is far more attuned. This cannot be forced, but will happen naturally over time. This ultimately is why the relationship needs time before any long-term commitment can be sealed. The next group of cards are any obstacles, and you have Girl with a Snake, Old School, and Mirror. The obstacles that appear in this relationship are that you may view yourself too critically. You have spent a lot of time processing the shadow side of yourself, and you are unique. Be proud of who you are. A need to put boundaries in place may be necessary. It may not be between you and your partner, but the outside world, who may steal and drain your time and energy with each other. This can include people who do not see your partnership as solid and who may interfere. Lastly, old patterns and outdated thoughts could impair your view of this connection. See the current situation in the now to be fair to all. So the next part of the reading, I wanted to channel some ideas of where you may meet this person or where the proposal will take place. So here are a few of the ideas. Where the sea or river meets beautiful trees and where nature calms the soul. Near a suit of armour. At a vehicle show, that could be an air show or collectible cars or trains. Where someone has an unusual tattoo with a snake or wings. At a cancel event where there's lots of chairs and they're all empty. On a swing or something hanging from a tree. In a hot atmosphere with intense steam. Now that could be a kitchen or a sauna. Where people paint. On a golf course or a large expanse of grass where people walk or play some form of sport. A creative class. For one of you, there will be somebody wearing a Panama hat. For another, it will be a terrible storm. And for one of you, you will be sitting at a huge wooden table and their eyes say it all. The next card is how to improve your relationship. And you have number 41, Float Like You Mean It. The Float Like You Mean It card advises us there is no dress rehearsal for life. This is it. Show gratitude not only for the wins and positives, but equally look to the lessons and life experiences behind the negative things that are thrown in the mix. The next two cards are what you'll learn from the relationship, and you have Balance and Harmony. The spring equinox symbolises the balance of the day and night, reminding you to seek harmony and balance in your life. Today is a time to reflect on all areas of your life and find inner peace and stability. And then the second card is Wit and Adaptability. Today requires adaptability. Change is inevitable, but those who can adjust quickly will find opportunities in the chaos. Stay calm, respond flexibly, and use your cleverness to find the best solution. This relationship will teach you about cycles, how things morph and change, how you need to adapt to new situations, and inevitably how you evolve as a person. The wheel of life is permanently turning, and we are at the helm of our own destiny. So the next card we have is the Queen of Clubs, and that's represented by the chrysanthemum. In the language of flowers, the chrysanthemum is reassurance that a reciprocated love awaits, where both of you are true and work together as one. It also denotes joy, happiness and loyalty. Then we've got some messages. We've got this one, which reads, "You may not always understand why certain things happen, however, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed." And then you have these two cards. You have settling, avoid settling for less than you deserve in love. And then the card alone time. Spend some time alone. It will help you gain clarity on your relationship. And then last but not least, we have a timing card, which for you is within 3 months. The card states 3 months, and in this timeless reading, this will be the period when you will begin on the path to finding your destined partner. The rest is then up to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a like, consider sharing or subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. If you picked option number 5, the Tanzanite and Sky Blue Topaz ring, here's your envelope. And your letter says, "Dearest darling, I can hardly believe I am writing this letter to you. It only seems like yesterday our paths crossed and the magic began. I remember looking into your twinkling eyes on our first date and sensing that this was a special connection. Little did I know it would be the beginning of our beautiful journey together, and scroll on to now, that I would be asking you to spend the rest of our lives together. Our time together has been like the most exquisite dream, and one that I want to continue living forever. Ever yours." Just wanted to do a little bit about the stones that feature in the rings. Tanzanite, the centre stone, is fairly rare, and it's the stone of metamorphosis. This also brings optimism, clarity and direction, and helps spiritual awakening. The sky blue topaz, which are the lighter colours around the outside, that's the stone of balance. Topaz helps self-expression and is said to remove emotional blockage and promote intuition. If you picked option number 5, which is the Tanzanite and Sky Blue Topaz ring, here are your cards. The first 2 cards represent you or your partner, because it can be vice versa. The first card is She Who Forgives, Elixir, Remorse, Guilt, Forgiveness. And the second card is She Who Persists, Jocelyn, Prospective, Defiant, Persistent. There seems to be an essence of frustration in these cards. It's like you have moulded yourself into the person you have wanted to be for so long that now you have reached that goal, your ideal has changed. Someone in your past or your family may have put expectations on you which you have found stifling, or maybe you are trying to compete with friends or siblings to gain the recognition you deserve. Now is the time you need to release this, to put down the ability to people please and just be completely yourself. When you drop these burdens of what is expected, you will begin an entire new cycle, the freedom of which will bring some long-awaited rewards. And then the next cards represent the other person in the relationship. So we have number 1, meant for you, and number 36, Pixie Poirot. The cards representing this person combined tells of a person who is highly intelligent and is very evolved. They have an inner knowing beyond being clever mentally too. They are an old soul that has been living through everything that the universe has thrown at them. They also know that dedication and hard work brings in great rewards. They cannot escape the feeling of being let down by those who they put their trust in, hence why they may be hesitant to do this even now in a new relationship. There will be something stand out and eccentric about this person, maybe their laugh, their handwriting, their dress sense, or such like, something that just makes you think a little more than you normally would. Their perception is second to none. They trust their instincts and have honed and attuned themselves to make the right judgments and guided decisions. The next two cards are when you come together. So you have surrender with joy, achieve greatness through surrender. And you have heart of the matter, align life's pathways through the heart. For those of you who have been manifesting a potential suitor and who have not been listing personality traits or putting stipulations on your requests, this is it. The universe has answered your calling, and whilst this may have turned up at quite a poor time, it is at least here and in a tangible form. Whether you are in your final exams, about to move house, or are facing another life milestone, you will find this relationship will appear when your mind is completely engaged in another topic. And with so little time for a relationship, worry not, their schedule makes yours look like you have a wealth of time on your hands, and it will become apparent that you will need to make time for one another for this to begin. The next group of cards are how things will progress, and you have the Knight of Inspiration, the Fool, Ten of Materials, the Priestess, and the Two of Voices. When this relationship begins, it may be a little stop-start. You may not know where you stand either. It feels like the universe has brought you together, like fate, and then left you with little to help. One of you may feel that you are more accommodating than the other, and whilst it can be depleting to do more work, it will balance out in the end. There is an opportunity for travel from the outset. They will be keen to shrug off the heftiness of work, to go and see pastures new, to relax and get to know each other in your free time. There will be an issue with one of you not being fully honest about something, and you or they may also have a family member who acts strange around you or that is unaware of your arrival in their life. The next couple of cards are the obstacles you'll face, and you have grounding and Cupid's arrow. As this relationship is divinely guided, the main obstacle would be to question it in any realm. If you are feeling unsure of anything, either ask your higher self or be open and ask the person you are in the relationship with. There is a question mark over some form of stability in the relationship, maybe where you will live, or finances, or even responsibilities. These will be sorted in time. Do not look too far ahead. Enjoy the journey and think about the now. For the next section, I wanted to try and channel some ideas of where you'll either meet this person or where the proposal will come from. And I've got a list of them here. In a sacred place like a temple, a church or a cemetery, where roses grow up a wall, on a safari or near where wild animals roam, where an hourglass sits as a decoration, somewhere special to you both. It's maybe where you met, your first date, etc. That's obviously for a proposal. Near a random ladder, in a coffee house, at your home or theirs, someone visiting to repair an item or to collect something, so maybe something that you've sold. So one of you may visit each other's homes, and that's how you can potentially meet. For one of you, a jester will be present. For another, there will be a broken glass or piece of china smashed. And for another one of you, it will be connected to a loss or a delayed parcel. The next card is how you can improve your relationship. And you have number 43, celebrate the little things. Show gratitude for each other's existence. Share fun times and do things that make you both happy. Your reading is very much focusing on how this evolves, and the early days of love are truly magical. Enjoy them and prolong them for as long as you possibly can. The next two cards are what you'll learn from your relationship, and you have reflection and introspection. Winter invites you to slow down and reflect. Take this time to review the past, reconnect with your inner world and organise your thoughts. In this quiet stillness, you will gain clarity and understanding for what lies ahead. And then the second card is Harvest and Fulfilment. It's time to enjoy the fruits of your hard work, reflect on your achievements, be grateful for the journey and prepare yourself for new challenges and growth. Allow yourself to bask in a sense of fulfilment. The cards seem to reflect the seasons of autumn and winter. Times for reaping what you have sown and for cozying up and waiting for the cold to pass. You are both happy in each other's company and do not need to have outside effects to enhance your relationship. You will also learn that organic love comes from within you and magnetically draws your ideal match. Next we have a couple of flower playing cards, and we have the King of Diamonds, which is Moss Rose, and then we have the Nine of Spades, which is the Forget-Me-Not. So the Moss Rose is about a shy love, someone who's not particularly forthcoming and might be quite reserved. The flower itself denotes a confession of love. This could be you already know this person in your day-to-day life. The flower also shows energy, vitality and joy. The Forget-Me-Not is normally a flower of remembrance, but whilst the flower Forget-Me-Not denotes fidelity, loyalty and true love, it also vibrates to memories and remembrance. Is there someone in your family who would have loved to see you happily settled with this special someone? If so, this is a sign that they would approve of your union. And next we've got some messages. We have this one, which says, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all your heart truly desires. And then we have this one, which says, a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. And then we also have some guidance on these cards. This is the card of individuality. Be wary of possessive partners. Maintain your individuality. And the other one is toxicity. Toxic relationships can drain your energy and self-worth. Be aware. I think that's in relationships in general, not just necessarily relationships of the love kind. So the last card is your timing card, and you have the card in March. As this reading is timeless, obviously whenever you find it, it will apply. The card is indicating March is the season that you will begin the path towards finding this love connection. So that's when the ball's potentially going to be rolling. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a thumbs up, consider sharing and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, post a comment down below on which option you picked, because it's always interesting to know what people decide to choose. Anyway, I'll see you in the next reading. If you picked option number 6, the ruby and diamond ring, here's your envelope. And your letter reads, to my one and only, I am grateful for this chance to speak to you, and especially on such a momentous occasion. I have toyed with the idea of moving our relationship on to the next stage, but wanted it to be a surprise and to be spontaneous, reflecting the essence of our connection, yet keeping it light and fun. I wanted to combine this moment with your favourite time of year. Yes, the one you just thought of. Have I just given away when this is likely to happen? Anyway, I want you to know I love you more than life itself, and I cannot wait to take the step towards cementing our bond. Sending you hugs and kisses. And I just wanted to touch on the meanings of the gemstones in the rings. Diamond does reoccur throughout, so if you are watching several options, you're obviously going to come across that again. But diamond is the stone of purity. Diamonds are said to promote an essence of invincibility, clarity, spiritual evolution, and is believed to cleanse the aura. In relationships, they represent eternal love, strength, and an unbreakable bond. And then the ruby is a stone of courage. It is said to be a stone of protection, and it enhances love, vitality, and is a good stone for abundance. In relationships, it brings passion, strength, loyalty, trust, honesty, resilience, and faithfulness. So if you picked option number 6, the ruby and diamond ring, here are your cards. The first 2 cards we're going to cover actually reflect either yourself or your partner. And we have Mantilli, she who remains, powerful, devotion, true worth. And then we have she who frees, Kali, liberation, unrestrained freedom. From the cards it appears you are an old soul, someone who has an unexplainable knowing and who in many cases is spiritually awakened or aware. You act older than your years and in some situations feel that you have missed out on a youth or being young. This may be because of circumstances making you grow up quicker, or the lack of those to parent you and allow you to be younger. There is a feeling of achievement, but an essence of not being fulfilled by what has got you to this stage. Be kind to yourself, as whilst you have been courageous and brave to face what you have today, you rarely compliment yourself or allow yourself to breathe and see how far you have truly come. So the next card reflects the other partner. So this is number 44, Maven of Masks. The Maven of Masks is someone who is excited about life. There is so many opportunities, they may be overwhelmed by choice. This card comes with a young energy, so possibly someone young at heart with a playful vibe, or someone younger than you full of enthusiasm and spontaneity. Their energy seems scattered, and their focus fails to be followed through with any form of direct action. This person is learning, not necessarily in an educational field, but in life. They are ready for adventure and to be challenged, to put their heart and soul into something they feel is worthwhile and to reap the rewards that are calling them. They may lack tact, lead with their heart and not their head, but they hold no malice and are genuinely in search of something tangible in life. However, they may not know what they are looking for until they actually come across it, and then they wouldn't be without it, like it was always part of them. The next 2 cards reflect how you'll come together, and you have listen to advice, guidance is needed to cross the ocean of life, and limitation is power, lean into your limitations. When you feel you have tried every possible pathway and finally sighed and given up, things will begin to work. You find love in the most unlikely places, and you cannot push for love. When you stop looking for it, it finds you, as they say. You may connect through friends or from someone's advice as you are being offered guidance. There is a need for assistance when you first meet. A connection made of need, potentially. Although the spark is there, it's just one of you doesn't see it, and the other doesn't want to say anything through fear of rejection or unrequited feelings. Be bold, be honest, and trust the process. The next batch of cards are how things will progress. And you have the Emperor, the 5 of Inspiration, the Hanged Muse, the Page of Emotions, and the Knight of Emotions. The energy of this relationship is stratospheric. It holds no bounds. It will take time for this to become a solid connection. You may be friends, work colleagues, or such like at first, and the connection will grow slowly. You may not be individuals that would necessarily be attracted to each other at first glance, but your personalities complement one another perfectly, and you have a wonderful understanding of each other's needs and weaknesses, which allows you to support one another in times of need, but equally to thrive in times of growth. There may be hesitation when it comes to moving the relationship onto a more stable ground, and there may be objections from someone close to one or either of you. But if you are on the same page, want the same things, any limitations are solely in your own mind. The next cards are any obstacles that you may face, and you have Ascending, the Snake, and Seduction. There is a fear of other people around your partner. This could be roles reversed, and they may have a fear of you being stolen away from them. Whichever way round it is, you both need to be clear and transparent about your feelings for one another, and if in a committed, exclusive relationship, what is and what is not acceptable in your mind. Also, an obstacle that needs to be considered is how you react to changing cycles. There is a need for growth and expansion, and this will mean changing your mindset to accommodate for this and to move on, going with the flow. For the next section, I wanted to channel some ideas of where you might meet this person or where your proposal will actually take place. So I've got a list of places. On a farm or working as a collective. Now that's either for a charity, a business, or potentially volunteering. Where flight attendants gather when not at work. Where someone is using a drone. At a gathering with lots of familiar faces. On a treasure hunt. Around teachers or guides or professors. Where scales weigh things the old-fashioned way, so that's not digitally, that's basically the old-fashioned scales where you have something on each side. Under an ornate street light. One of you will get a surprise after a fortune cookie. For another one of you, it will be an interesting thing that will be under bell jars that are around you at the time. And finally, for one of you, it will be on a roof garden with a fantastic view of the surrounding area. The next card is how you can improve your relationship. And you have number 44, always settle for more. So always try to improve yourself, your living environment, your connection to others. If you're sure you're being your best version of yourself, then you've already won effectively. So that's how you can improve your relationship. The next two cards are what you will learn from the relationship, and you've got illumination and completion. Reflect on your achievements and give thanks for the growth and effort that brought you here. You may experience emotional release. This is a time to celebrate your results and to let go of the past. And then the other card, vastness and possibility. The sky reminds you that life is full of limitless possibilities. Today, look at the horizon and feel the endless opportunities. Don't be afraid to take the first step towards those dreams you once thought were out of reach. I think you will gain a lot from this connection. In some relationships, you are the driving force, the person who feels they are the strength and motivation behind the union. But this is a bigger purpose that you will discover further down the line. In some respects, taking the reins isn't new for you, but people do tend to lean into your experience and look to you for answers and deeper meanings to their problems and disputes. Be the person you would have liked to have around when you were in need, like these people. Next, we've got a flower card, and it's the Six of Spades, Cinerea, which is the card of delight. In the language of flowers, this means protection and a promise of delight and joy with an overall meaning of contentment. Then we have a couple of messages. We have this one, which reads, forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. And then we have long distance. Love knows no distance. It transcends time and space. And then we have the card of Doorway. An opportunity is about to present itself that leads you to a new person. And then lastly, we have a timing card, which for you says in the spring. So in the spring is the time that the process will start to either begin to draw this person in, you'll be on that path, or if you're already in a relationship with somebody, that will be the time when things may start to change and the relationship becomes a more solid entity. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, give us a thumbs up, consider sharing and subscribe if you don't already. Also, if you can put what option you picked in the comments, that would be interesting, because it's always good to hear what options people go for and where they're drawn. Anyway, I'll see you in the next reading.